Hey tribe, welcome back to another Sunday Coffee Talk. Today's going to be a great one because we're going to talk about how to borrow from your future self to manifest now today. Or we can spin it into success, how to borrow from your future self to get success today. So before we get going here, remember on every single Sunday, we have the Super Thanks Spotlight. The Super Thanks Spotlight, leave a Super Thanks below, attach a question to it, and that's what we talk about every single Sunday. And right now, I think today, this is the first Sunday I don't have my coffee. I actually grabbed a motorbike and drove down to take a little walk with you today. Because in Thailand, this is getting close to Songkran. This is the Thai New Year, and they like to blast music all over. And I kind of wanted to go someplace quiet with you guys to really talk about this. Just because I'm going to feel rushed in a video. I'm going to kind of feel anxious in a video thinking, well, people might blast music anytime. So I took you down here from the green scenery. The scenery looks beautiful today, huh? Oh, it looks beautiful today, tribe, huh? But anyway, let's get going on this, okay? How to borrow from your future self to manifest now, okay? To get success now today. Okay, now what I love about this topic is this is the core of manifesting. This isn't about manifesting techniques, doing affirmations, doing journaling, what you're thinking about when you go to sleep. This just goes to the core root of manifesting and success. This skips over everything. Okay. So how do we really do this? Okay. How do you really borrow from your future self to get results right now? Okay. I'm gonna share with you a few ways here. I mean, for one, okay, it's going to take a little bit of homework from you. Okay, this isn't, now there's some pointers I can give you, but there's a lot of it you got to figure out for yourself. Okay, because I can help you, but all of us are individuals. You understand? Is how, listen guys, if you want your dream house, and I say you have your dream house right now today, so how would you act? Okay, what I mean by that is you got to envision yourself like, I already have my dream house. So how would the most successful version of me, how would I act? How would I behave? How would I talk? How would I dress? Who would I hang out with? You understand? Would I have a different group of friends? Okay, or would I add a couple more successful friends to my group? What type of decisions would I be making? You understand? It goes deep. It's not just like, well, I don't know how to act as if, okay, I start acting like a millionaire. It's deeper than that. It's how would you really live your life? Okay, listen to this. How would the most successful version of you handle conflict? How will the most successful version of you handle things that you don't like? Okay. For example, how will the most successful version of you, if someone took advantage of you and ripped you off, how would you handle that? You understand? Because listen, when we're going through our 3D world, we're going through present moment. See, the whole point when you're living in present moment is you're acting like the most successful version of you. That's the key. That's how you're borrowing from your future self. Is when I go throughout my whole day, guys, is I constantly ask myself, how would the most successful version of me act? How would the most successful version of me act in this situation? Okay, I even ask myself, what would the most successful version of me do? Okay, when I have to make a decision and I'm struggling with a decision, what would the most successful version of Chad make in that decision? And listen, like lots of times I will find that 50% of the time I'll have an answer like this. Well, the most successful version of me would not do it. And listen, you got to follow that. You understand? Because this is what I've explained explained before, there's only two yous. Do you like that? There's only two yous. Okay. Ooh, that's beautiful right there. Meaning there's your old identity, your old self. Then there's the most successful version of you that we're talking about here in this video. There's only two. Okay. Now what's happening is, just to be blunt with you, is when you're doing all these manifesting techniques, okay, no matter what you're doing, okay, no matter who you're following, who you're reading, the issue is with manifesting and success, the reason why it's not working is because when you go throughout your day, you're in present moment, okay, you're having fun, you're experiencing life, positive, negative. The issue is you're going through life as your current self. You're going through life as the old identity. You understand? Remember, you want your dream life, you want things, you like that. I was like a ninja. Okay. But your old self, listen, your old self cannot take you to your dream life. Does that make sense? Your old self, your old habits, your old patterns, your old thinking, the old way you make decisions, that person, listen, can never take you to your dream house, your dream car, can never make you a millionaire. You understand? And the more you understand this, the more you get this, the more you do this work, the more you understand it. Okay? The more you get better at it, the more you become aware that the old version of Chad cannot take me to my next level. Okay? I got to get away. I got to like shed old habits that are holding me back. That's why this is so powerful. That's why you're constantly in a state that what would the most successful version of me do? What would the $15 million man do? And you'll constantly live that way. You constantly behave that way as much as you possibly can. Okay. This isn't rocket science, okay? But also this isn't pretend. This isn't, well, Chad just talk about act as if. Act as if he's a millionaire. Okay. But the issue is, people say that. They say it funny and comical because they try to make it light, or they try to debate, but the same thing happens. The same thing happens, my friends. I already know it. They've gone through their life, and when they come up to circumstances, they behave like the old self. And when you behave like the old self, you're rooted in the old self. You understand? You get results in the old self. You manifest from that state, your old self. You don't manifest from the most successful version of you. Okay. So let's flip it back around, because I want to tell you a story too. I don't want this video to go on and on and on and be a marathon video. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, okay, this takes work from you. Okay. Yes, I can help you if I talk to you, if you shoot me an email, stuff like that, help to kind of see and kind of gear and guide you. But listen, the way I would do things, the lifestyle I want is a little bit different from you. Okay, so that's why I tell you it's work from you. Okay, you gotta constantly ask yourself, go inside your imagination and say, how will the most successful version of me live? Okay, when I'm going through life, how will the most successful version of me handle these situations? Okay, you understand? Now, some of it's going to be positive. Some of it's going to be like, okay, the most successful version of me would dress this way, have these friends, have these hangout spots, go here to get coffee. You understand? So the trick is to add those things into your life. Okay, now the greatest debate with this was Chad. Okay, I'm being psychic right now with you. I can hear your brain tick. Well, Chad, I can't afford to be the most successful version of me. I can't just go out and buy my Porsche. I can't just go out and buy my dream car. You know, I can't just go out and buy a whole new wardrobe. No, Chad, if people listen to you, you're just going to put them in bankruptcy. Dude, if you're thinking that way, you're going off the deep end. Okay, all you're trying to do is debate because you think your way is right. And listen, your way, it is right. You know why? Because what's the law of assumption? The law of assumption is whatever you assume to be true for you, you have to experience. Whatever I assume to be true for me, I have to experience as well. So I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but what you have to understand is, yes, you are correct. Yes, there's going to be certain things that we can't do, okay? You can't just go out and buy your dream house right now. You can't just go out and buy your dream car right now. You can't just go out, you're not going to open your bank account when you got $1 million sitting in there, okay? By tomorrow, okay? But the biggest but here, what I'm talking about is, you can carry yourself like the version of you who already has it. You understand? Okay, you can, listen, you can make decisions today, right now, as the most successful version of you, how they would make those decisions. You can do that right now today. You understand? Like when we talk about clothing and stuff like that, yeah, I'm not saying that you go out and you spend $5 grand and replenish your whole wardrobe, but my friend, but my debater, you can go out and buy a t-shirt once a month, okay? Okay, if all your socks and boxers have holes in it, and you start thinking, would the most successful version of me have boxers and socks with holes in it? And you say no. Well, you can easily go out and replace your socks and boxers. You understand? Like, I'm not saying that you're going to do all this stuff, okay, in one time, okay? The whole point is, listen, the whole point is you carry yourself like it. You make decisions like it, okay? You start putting yourself in better environments. Even if you have to drive a little bit out of your way to go to your favorite coffee shop where the most successful version of you would hang out, you can do that. Okay? 100% you can do that. You know why? Because listen to this, baby. Starbucks is the same price in Beverly Hills, California, as it is in Ohio. Okay? Know how I know this? It's because I lived in Beverly Hills. Well, I didn't live in Beverly Hills. I live in Culver City, which is like 5 or 10 minutes away from Beverly Hills. Okay? You understand? You understand? So there's certain things you can do right now that would mimic the most successful version of you. Okay? Listen, guys, stop fighting it. Stop debating and just do it. Stop focusing on all the things that will go wrong. Stop focusing on like, oh, why do this over here? This will happen. Dude, listen, come closer. If you constantly focus on these things, these negative things, guess what? Those negative things are going to come to you. That's how this stuff works. Listen, would the most successful version of you would be thinking about doom and gloom, would be thinking about all the ways it's going to go wrong. No, the most successful version of you wouldn't. The most successful version of you, listen to this, the most successful version of you would only think about what they like, what they want to do. Everything works out in my favor. My name is Chad Napier and all things work out for me. My name is Chad Napier, everything works out in my favor. My name is Chad Napier and all great things happen to me. That's how your most successful version of you would focus his energy and time. The most successful version of you would not put no energy towards a negative situation or a negative how something's going to transpire. Okay? Listen, guys, even around money, okay, your most successful version of you is a millionaire, a multi-millionaire. Someone rips you off by $2,000. The most successful version of you, yeah, it's going to sting, baby. It's going to sting because somebody overstepped your boundaries or you let someone overstep your boundaries. But by the end of the day, the most successful version of you is just going to be like, fluff it off. Okay, whatever. I'll just fix it. and they just move on from it. They don't keep on thinking about it. They don't keep on telling the story. They don't keep on, every time they're around their friends, a story comes up. Every time they go to a family gathering, they tell the story. We all have family members like that. Maybe we do that. Every time we go to a family gathering on the holidays, you tell the same story that happened to you for the last 10 years. And you tell it like it happened to you yesterday. So if someone didn't even know you and listen to your story, they would be like, dude, did this happen to you yesterday? Then they find out it happened to you 10 years ago, and they're just like, I think it's time for you to get over it. See, would the most successful version of you be doing that? No. Okay. So you always have to ask yourself, just like I do throughout the day, what would the most successful version of me do in this situation? Okay. You constantly have to ask yourself this stuff. Now let's kind of wrap this up and end this with my example I had for you. Okay. Because lots of times, and this is really kind of a separate video, some of you that hang on, that listen to all my videos and stuff like that, you're really going to get some insight right now. Because lots of times what happens is when we start behaving like the most successful version of us, we start actually listening to it. You know, when I'm struggling with making a decision, and I ask myself, what would the most successful version of me do? And the answer comes to me right away, and I follow that. See, what's happening is I'm getting closer and closer and closer to my goal. I'm getting closer and closer and closer to what I want. Okay. But what you have to understand, you know, how kind of success and manifesting works in this arena is as you get closer to what you want, you know, and as you stay with it and don't quit, things have to kind of melt off of you. You understand? Okay, things have to, your bad habits have to go. Some of the bad habits that are holding you back has to go. Okay, it can't come with you. Okay, sometimes it's a job. Sometimes a job that you have, you know that it's holding you back. But you just don't have the, you know it, you just don't have the guts to quit. Okay. That's the only thing. And what you'll find is when you play this game, the sun is coming up down through here. I go right through there. I'm trying to think, maybe I'll stay up here. When you play this game and you hang in there, you know what I mean? No matter if you don't even see your dream house coming yet, you still act like the most successful version of you. What will happen is you're going to work one day and get fired from your job. Okay. But I don't want you to fight it because it needed to happen, my friends. Lots of times when this stuff happens, when we start getting into manifesting and success, start acting like our future self. See, this stuff happens to us. Okay. You understand? Some of us lose our job. We go to work. We've been doing this work for a month and we get fired from a job overnight. There's no fucking warning. You get fired from a job, you get no severance, you get nothing. Income flipping stops. But what a lot of you do, and I fall in this trap too, if I'm not careful, is you look at it as a negative. Okay, you look at it as a distraction. You look at it like, see universe, see this stuff don't work. You know, I'm doing all this manifesting stuff. I'm listening to Chad. I'm reading all these books, and this is what happened to me. I went to work and I got fired. But what you have to understand is when you start acting like the most successful version, there's certain things that can't come with you. And listen, even Neville Goddard said this, is if you persist in your assumption and you don't give up, don't be surprised that, boom, you get fired from your job. And he said, don't fight it. Don't let it distract you. Let it be, because it had to happen. Listen, guys, it had to happen for you because that current job that you have will not take you to your dream life. It had to happen to you to force you to move on. Okay, that's what I want you to see. And this is something I had kind of happen to me maybe like a week ago. Just out of the blue, you know, like one of the businesses I run and help run just got boom shut down overnight. You know what I mean? And the old me would fight it. The new me, the most successful version of me, even though it took a great big chunk of income from me, I just felt peace over it. I was just like, I don't want to do it no more. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the peace inside me. There's still a piece of me got worried, you know what I mean? Because it took it took a giant piece of income from me. Okay. But at the same time, I had this enormous peace around it because I knew it had to happen. I knew it had to. I knew it had to go. You understand? So don't fight it. No matter if it's scary to you, don't fight it. Because when you don't fight it, you let it be. You trust in God, trust in the universe that everything's working out in your favor, because everything always is working out in your favor. When a door shuts, a better and bigger door opens up. Okay. And you will find that your life will thrust forward higher than what it currently was. Okay. So that's the only thing as we wrap up this video is you have to see. And this is lots of times what people don't talk about. Let me go have this twig stand. I don't know if I wanted to run through it or not. Okay. The only thing with these trees, super hot now. These trees up here, some of these trees have some big ass spiders on them. We've had some get in the house. Okay. I have like a spider phobia. But some of these trees, ooh, I mean, some spiders are pretty big. I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, some of them, you nickname them like banana spiders. They get in like the fruit, like the banana trees, the mango trees and stuff like that. And, but dude, they get pretty big and they look kind of scary. So, a little bit of tangent there as we start walking, just in case a spider falls on my head. No, I shouldn't really say that. I'll be like running. All of a sudden I'm looking at myself and I see a great big spider crawl up over my head. Woo! You see me throw the phone, baby. Have some fun here as we wrap up this video. But anyway, tribe, this is how basically easily manifesting in success to be, but it really comes down to the core. It's how you're acting. It's how you're acting around everything. It's your core beliefs. It's what you're speaking. It's what you're saying. Listen, whatever you say, it's done for you, no matter positive or negative. The words come out of your mouth is creating things in your life. That's why every spiritual teaching tells us the power of our tongue. Tells us that, you should only focus on what you like, what you want to do, where you're going. That's what you should only focus on. If you would only focus on this, dude, everybody would be living their dream life. Everybody would have what they want. But instead of focusing on what you want to do, what you like, you might focus on this like 5%, but the other 95% is you focus on what's wrong with your life. You focus on what's not going right. You focus on that flat tire that you got. You understand? And then you talk about it, and you talk about it to all your friends. Then all your friends you hang out with are just like you. This is psychology. Okay, psychology 101. Listen, you hang around people just like you, baby. Okay, if you want to increase your life, that's why I said, what would the most successful version of you do? Okay, if you were rich, I would probably guarantee most of your friends would be rich. Okay, but that's who you would just naturally gravitate to. It's not because you think you're better than other people. It's just because it's psychology again. If you're broke, all your friends are probably broke. Okay? If you're middle class, all your friends are probably middle class. Okay? You know what I mean? If you're married with 2 kids, well, all your friends are probably married with 2 kids. You understand, it's the same thing. If you're rich, you're a millionaire, well, probably most of your friends are rich and they're a millionaire. Okay. So when we start talking about I'm the most successful version of me, that's why I told you. You got to start adding people that are more successful to your group that you hang out with, you talk with. Okay, that's why. Listen, guys, I was wrap this up. I thought I was going to come out as a rapper. Is that's why it's so powerful to be inside the tribe. If you want to be inside the tribe, the link is in the description. That's a YouTube membership. It's so powerful to do that stuff because it puts you around like-minded people that want to achieve what you want to achieve. Okay, it puts you around people more successful than you. Okay, I do the same thing. I practice what I preach. You understand? I'm not just saying it just to say it. Okay, if you don't know anybody more successful than you in your hometown, you don't know anybody rich, well, that means you on the internet, you got to go out and be part of groups and tribes and memberships that put you around those people. Even if you're not physically hanging out with them, you're in close proximity of them. You understand? And this is consciousness. Okay. You know, like when you're around, listen, guys, when you're around people more successful than you, because everything is consciousness, that rubs off on you. That's a whole nother talk, a whole nother video. As I'm walking through here. Maybe I'll keep you as I walk back to the bike. Then once I get back to the bike, we'll wrap up this video. I'm probably like maybe a couple minutes, few minutes from the bike. Okay, does that understand? Okay, like if everything is consciousness, that's why the rich, the ultra rich, they know this. Even in Asia, okay, living in Asia can be, all countries in Asia can be very classism. Okay, oh, I got something in my shoe. Okay, meaning like, middle class and above, they do not hang around poor. Boom, period. Listen, it's extreme. They don't shop where poor people shop. They don't eat where poor people eat. They don't go where poor people go. Period. You don't see it. You don't see it at all, okay? And one of the reasons why is everything is consciousness, meaning that, when you constantly put yourself in poor areas, hanging around poor people, is their consciousness rubs off on you. Now, granted, it could be vice versa. If they hang out with you, my consciousness will rub off on them. Okay, but it's twofold because their consciousness is going to rub off on me also. Okay, that's why it's so imperative, like I told you, is put yourself around people more successful than you, even if you don't talk to them. That's why I say go to more coffee shops where successful people hang out, because even if you don't talk to them, you're in this sphere of their consciousness. You're in this sphere of success, and that rubs off on you. Okay, I'm talking voodoo stuff right now. But it works. Okay, it's the same thing, guys. Listen, it's the same thing as if you're a little bit older. Okay, you grew up in your hometown, and when you grew up, your hometown was perfect. It was safe. You could go out and walk. You could leave your door unlocked. You could leave your bike sitting outside. Nobody would take it. And fast forward 20 years, that same hometown you grew up in, you can't do that stuff no more. The same hometown you grew up in, there's more crime, there's more violence, there's more drugs and alcohol. Okay. And what happens when you stay in those areas, even if you don't like it, what ends up happening is that consciousness rubs off on you. Okay, you start to endure it, you start to accept it, and when you start to accept something, that becomes you. Okay, even something that you hated in the beginning, it becomes part of you. You understand? But anyway, tribe, I am getting a little bit closer here. So remember, every Sunday Coffee Talk, we have the Super Thing Spotlight. That's where you leave your super things down below. Attach a question to it, and that's what we discuss on every single Sunday. And as we wrap up this talk here with being the most successful version of you, It's a little bit homework from you. You understand? It's you asking yourself, how would the most successful version of me behave? Where would they go? And have fun with this. You know what I mean? This isn't a chore. Have fun with it. But this is a question you're always asking yourself when you go throughout the day. Okay, you become aware, you catch yourself going back to the old you, going back to your old decisions, your old patterns, and you catch yourself. What would the most successful version of me do in this situation? And when the answer comes to you, you actually follow it. Understand? Okay. So, I mean, there's no secrets to this stuff. You just have to listen. You just have to put in the work and stay persistent and consistent with it and not give up. I mean, that's the name of the game. Ooh, I made it back. Made it back, baby. That's the name of the game, my friends. Listen, there's no ultra secret that I'm going to give you that you're going to change your life tomorrow. There's no ultra secret I'm going to give you. You're going to manifest in 24 hours. That is a marketing gimmick. Okay. Yes, that can be technically true when we think about it. Okay. Just because we're always manifesting all day long. We're manifesting right now. You're manifesting right now. I'm manifesting right now. You understand? We're manifesting things that we like and don't like. Okay. We manifest things we focus on. Okay. So manifesting is instant. Okay. But we just have to become aware of what we're constantly thinking about. We got to become aware of because what we constantly think about, that's going to come into our reality at some point. Okay, my friends? But anyway, I'm getting hot, nice and sweaty. Put this up here. But anyway, tribe, remember I love you guys. Getting the keys right now. If you have any questions, drop them below. Since it's Sunday, drop a super thanks below. Attach a question to it, and we'll discuss it next Sunday. But other than that, peace out. Remember, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.